Opposition leader files no confidence motion against 2 government ministers. 3 persons injured in motorcycle collision in Bartica. In the region, Venezuela, President Maduro to give COVAX ultimatum to ship vaccines. And internationally, at least 140 students missing after gunmen raid Nigerian school. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Channel 2 Headline News Updates. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. The opposition today filed 2 motions of no confidence against 2 government ministers. The motions call for the resignation of Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony and Home Affairs Minister Robinson Ben. Opposition leader Joseph Harman argues that they have lost confidence in the Minister of Health, whom they claim have botched Guyana's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and should be replaced.
The number of deaths is about 478 and thereabouts per day. And this is basically running the ministry of this minister to deal with the COVID situation. In addition to that, we have some issues with respect to the vaccination program. And only recently, we have dealt with the question of sums of money, over $975 million in one instance, which was spent even before Parliament had an opportunity to deal with it, and another 358, I believe, after.
As for the motion brought against Minister Ben, the opposition leader stated that the country's crime rate, vehicle homicides, and violent assaults have, quote-unquote, enveloped the society.
The government itself already has moved a no confidence motion in Ben by setting up an alternative police force to deal with crime. When they came to the House and asked for money for a regional force, a regional entity that is a new entity that ostensibly has to deal with crime. Crime is a police function. And if your own government is saying that, look, we need to remove this function from you and give it to somebody else, then in fact what they are saying is that they do not have the confidence in Ben to be the Minister of Home Affairs. But even beyond that, crime is also running out of control. The statistics, they're hiding it. They're hiding it. They formed some new black clothes scheme that is actually now, I see them dress up like black clothes police, and they are meant to be the PR people.
The 2 motions will be scheduled for debate in the National Assembly once authorized by the Speaker. A firearm and valuables were stolen from a parked car at the Carrera Creek. Esther Sobers has more.
Police are investigating the alleged robbery of several items from a 59-year-old male retired police officer, a 48-year-old female inspector of police, and a 37-year-old housewife who was robbed on Sunday while swimming at the Carrera Creek, Wismar, Linden. According to a police report, the 59-year-old male parked his silver gray Allion motorcar PPP 1014, leaving his firearm in the glove compartment. The other items belonging to him and the other victims were left on the car seat and other parts in the car. He secured the car before they all went down to the creek. Some 75 feet down a hill from where he was at the creek, the car was out of his sight. After they finished swimming, they all returned to the car and noticed the right side small glass to the back door broken and the right side passenger door partly open. They made checks and discovered the following items were missing: 1 9mm semi-automatic pistol and a magazine with 10 live MM rounds, 1 black cool pad cell phone valued at $20,000, 1 black smartphone valued at $30,000, and $49,200 cash, and 1 Samsung A30 cell phone valued at $65,000, 1 pair of reading glasses valued at $58,000, national ID card, police and Republic bank cards, driver's license, and 1 brown handbag valued at $2,000, and a quantity of clothing valued $5,000. A statement has been taken and investigation is in progress. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. The body of a rice farmer was discovered hours after being reported missing. Here again is Esther Sobers.
The body of a 29-year-old rice farmer was discovered hanging from a jamun tree at Brazilian's back dam earlier this morning, just a few hours after his relatives reported him missing. Dead is Narendra Sitaram of Mainstay Public Road Region 2. Reports are that Sitaram left his house to visit his rice fields at around 5:30 hours on Monday and never returned home. Calls to his cell phone went unanswered. His sister decided to track his phone's location via his Google account. The location pinned him at Resilience Back Dam, a few villages away from his rice field. The body was discovered during a search this morning. The man's motorcycle was also found nearby. His clothing appeared ripped. The family believes that Sitaram could not have died by suicide and pointed to a rift between him and other farmers. It is alleged that Sitaram did vapor spraying of his rice fields but extended to other 30 acres belonging to other farmers, damaging their crops in the process. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. COVID-19 immunization will be available to HIV patients.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop Price Smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work? Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Complement that suit with a stunning shirt and tie, matching bow tie and suspenders, cufflinks, or even a pair of shiny dress shoes. You will love the way you look. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Tastes so good. It's got to be made with Alabama Baker wheat flour. Produced from quality soft winter wheat and quality enzymes to give a superior product that's guaranteed to be luscious, delightful to taste, and stays fresher longer. Alabama Baker wheat flour is perfect for breads, roti, puri, pastries, chow mein, pastas, and many other delights. Imported and distributed by Alabama Trading. 6566 Robb Street, Borda, and 23 Lombard Street. Telephone 225-5800.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the
problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. COVID-19 immunizations will be available to HIV patients by the end of this week. Here is more. HIV patients will be able to have their COVID-19 vaccinations easily and discreetly by the end of this week. Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, made this announcement during today's COVID-19 update. The health minister said his ministry has been working along with the National Care and Treatment Center to set up a COVID-19 vaccination site to accommodate HIV patients.
Well, one of the issues that we've heard is that persons who are HIV positive did not feel comfortable coming to one of our regular vaccination sites. And so as of this week, we have been working with the National Care and Treatment site here in Georgetown to make that also into a vaccination site. So they should start from this week. So patients going there for their regular treatment, they would be counseled about taking the vaccine and they can get the vaccine right there. And we're hoping to replicate this at all of our care and treatment sites so that these patients don't have to feel uncomfortable and go to one of the fixed sites.
The minister is hopeful that this added measure would encourage HIV patients to get their COVID-19 vaccines. Dr. Anthony said HIV is a comorbidity and heightens a patient's chance of being severely affected by the coronavirus.
HIV is a comorbidity and we want to make sure that they have access to these vaccines. We will be monitoring with other types of patients as well, and we are hoping that we can introduce a similar service for patients with chronic non-communicable diseases and some of the more popular clinics that we have, that we would use these opportunities to talk to people about getting the vaccines.
Meanwhile, Minister Anthony said more health centers in Region 4 will be used as vaccination sites to provide wider accessibility.
Well, one of the strategies that we're using is trying to get more of our health centers becoming vaccination sites. And as you know, in Georgetown, we have approximately 13 centers that we operate between the Ministry of Health and the municipality. And we have had discussions with the municipality about making 3 of their sites into active vaccination sites.
Minister Anthony said there has been a decrease in persons being hospitalized with COVID-19.
We have seen a slight decrease in hospitalization overall. So as of today, we have 61 persons who are in the hospital, with 14 of those in the ICU. Of those 61 that we have in the hospital, 3 are children, 2 are in the wards, so they're not in the ICU, they're in the wards. Their prognosis looks quite good. And we have 1 child right now that is in the ICU. So we continue to monitor these children to see how they're progressing, to make sure that they're getting all the meds that is required, and all the other measures that should be taken are being taken. And we are hoping that they'll be able to get better and be out of the hospital shortly.
To date, 48.4% of the adult population has received their first dose of the vaccine, while 23.5% have received both doses. 3 persons were injured after 2 motorcycles collided in Bartica. More from Esther Sobers.
Police are looking into a motorcycle collision of a gold miner and two teenagers in Bartico. The accident occurred at around 3:45 p.m. on Sunday. According to a police report, 28-year-old Mark Griffith of 3rd Avenue, Bartico, was riding south along 5th Avenue. He failed to stop at a stop sign and collided with the side of an unregistered motorcycle owned by Kim Braffett, but was driven by a 16-year-old accompanied by a 15-year-old pillion rider. Both motorists and the pillion rider were thrown to the road as a result of the collision, suffering injuries to their bodies. They were all picked up whilst conscious and taken to the Bartico Regional Hospital. They were evaluated and treated for their injuries before being admitted. Mark Griffith and one of the teenagers were hospitalized with lacerations and head trauma, while the teen rider was referred to the Georgetown Public Hospital with a hemotumor to the brain and a fractured left leg. Investigation continues. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Don't go away after the break. Venezuela. President Maduro to give COVAX ultimatum to ship vaccines, and at least 140 students missing after gunmen raid Nigerian school. But before that, here is the bridge retraction schedule.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for do a surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome to Kissoon's Furniture. Find everything you need for your home and more under one roof in our newly decorated showroom. Our locally crafted furniture has been perfected over the last 60 years. From our hands to your home, we also bring to you our newly introduced lines of imported furniture and sleep center, where you can find a wide range of beds and mattresses. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 60 years.
For decades, milk has remained the same. Until now. Introducing the Great Dairy Full Cream Milk from Alabama Trading. Enriched with vitamins A to D and calcium to promote healthy teeth, strong bones, and vitality. Great Dairy Milk is delicious and fortified to encourage healthy cell growth within the body. No wonder it's the #1 brand of milk produced in Ireland. Now available nationwide in 400-gram packages at leading supermarkets and wholesale vendors. Distributed by Alabama Trading.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Survival Shopping Complex brings to you its delivery service, Shop Through WhatsApp. This process is simple. All you need to do is call or message your grocery list to 613-9683 and we will select your items for you and have them delivered directly to you, even out of town. This is convenient because we can stay on the phone with you as we select your favorite brands. We're happy to do your shopping for you. Contact us on WhatsApp today and shop price smart at Survival Shopping Complex.
Are you looking for men's suits for that wedding, prom, or special party? Or maybe you need to update your wardrobe with a modern fit or a new color for work. Search no more, because John Lewis Styles is the perfect men's suit store. Come see us on Waterloo Street, and our friendly staff will help you choose the perfect size, color, and fit. Compliment different.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news in the region and around the world. Venezuela's president has accused the international COVAX scheme of failing his country. The scheme is designed to help poorer nations obtain vaccines, but Nicolas Maduro says Venezuela has not received doses that it has paid for. Al Jazeera's Teresa Bo reports.
Surviving in Venezuela has been a challenge for Maria Yelitza Vergara. She received a kidney transplant 17 years ago, but last year her kidneys began to fail again. Unlike thousands of other high-risk patients in the country, she's hoping to get her second COVID-19 vaccine dose soon.
It's been a week since I was supposed to get my second dose. I have no clue what's going on. I don't know why they didn't do everything right. Why can't they do it right for once? The same thing with transplants. 4 years without a transplant. All patients like me are in the hands of God. I need $42 to pay for medications, and my pension is $1, and I need to have 2 jobs.
Venezuela is struggling with US sanctions and an economic crisis that is impacting its ability to fight against the disease. The South American nation is part of the COVAX system, which is a collaborative effort designed to help countries like Venezuela get access to vaccines. But that's proving to be a challenge. So far, it has only received around 3.5 million doses from China and Russia, and the country is currently testing thousands of doses of vaccines from Cuba. 2 months ago, COVAX announced payments made to the system by Venezuela had been blocked by the Swiss bank UBS, even though the Biden administration said all related COVID purchases were exempted from the sanctions. On Sunday, President Nicolás Maduro said the COVAX system has failed Venezuela.
Nosotros le cumplimos.
We fulfilled our promises. 2 months ago, we gave them all our money by doing magic to liberate funds that were blocked. The government of the United States then unblocked more money for us. And that money is there in an account, and the COVAX has failed the people of Venezuela. Either you give us the vaccines or return our money.
Earlier this year, Venezuela rejected around 2 million AstraZeneca vaccines from COVAX due to safety concerns. But opposition figures say Venezuela could be accessing vaccines for free. Miguel Pizarro, who is currently on exile, say Nicolás Maduro is to blame.
La razón por la que nosotros no tenemos este beneficio.
The reasons why we don't have access to free vaccines, like countries like Syria, Sudan or Yemen, countries that have humanitarian emergencies that are acknowledged by the United Nations, the reason is the obscurity of statistics, of numbers. In front of the World Bank are numbers that show when Venezuela enjoyed an oil bonanza, and that's not the case anymore.
As politicians bicker over who is to blame for the hardships in the country, millions of Venezuelans are impatiently waiting for an opportunity to get the vaccine. People like Maria Yelitza Vergara, struggling with a life-threatening disease, says it's her only chance of surviving COVID-19. Teresa Bo, Al Jazeera.
And internationally, after months of criticism that COVID-19 vaccines aren't reaching developing nations, inoculation drives around the world are picking up. But the rollouts come as experts worry about the effects of the Delta variant. Al Jazeera's Charlotte Bellis reports.
Vaccine drives are gathering pace in countries around the world. This is 1.5 million doses of the Moderna vaccine flown into El Salvador as a donation from the United States. El Salvador has administered just under 3 million doses, enough to fully inoculate 22% of its population.
We have a special commitment to the entire region, and we are not going to stop until all countries have the vaccines they require to protect all their citizens.
In Ivory Coast, health workers are visiting markets to get as many people vaccinated as possible. They'll visit 130 in the capital Abidjan in the next 2 weeks. In some countries in Africa, COVID-19 case numbers are doubling every 3 weeks.
I have just received my COVID vaccine. I'm really relieved because I have been waiting to do it for a long time.
In Russia, the government has opened its largest vaccination centre in Moscow. Russia reported a record high 737 coronavirus deaths on Tuesday.
The last week showed a slight decrease in the incidence of COVID in Moscow, but nevertheless, the level of hospitalisation and morbidity itself is at a very high level. But how will the Delta or other mutations behave?
It's a question health authorities are asking around the world. Israel's health ministry released data that the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine is just 64% effective against infections by the Delta variant. It had been 94% effective against previous strains of the virus. Although, they reported it is still more than 90% effective at keeping people out of a hospital.
There's no doubt that there is a level of escape with the Delta variant. That means that there is a level of reduction in protective immunity with this particular variant, even with vaccines. The good news is that with 2 doses of vaccine, there is still a very high level of protection for individuals against severe disease like hospitalizations and deaths.
The Delta variant is accelerating the spread of outbreaks in places that had previously escaped the pandemic. Fiji went an entire year without recording any community coronavirus cases until the new strain arrived in April. On Tuesday, it reported a record 636 cases and 6 deaths.
It does hurt you in some way, and it does also let you know that, we're far from over.
The ICU at the main hospital in the capital, Suva, is full. So is the city's morgue. 10% of Fijians are fully vaccinated. Officials are hoping to increase that number to stop the spread. Charlotte Ballas, Al Jazeera.
And finally, at least 140 school students are missing in northwest Nigeria after attackers raid a boarding school. It's the latest in the recent wave of mass abductions targeting students there. Al Jazeera's Julian Wolf has more.
Distraught parents gather at the school compound, consoling one another as they wait to hear news of their missing children. Ripped sandals and empty beds are all that remain after attackers raided the Bethel Baptist boarding school in northwest Nigeria while students slept.
Just this morning, at about 6, I received a phone call that they have entered the school, kidnappers, and all our children are back, including my daughter inside.
Police say the assailants overpowered security guards and took the victims into a nearby forest. More than 24 students have been rescued. This is the region's 10th mass school kidnapping since December. A day earlier, in a separate attack on a health center north of Kaduna City, about a dozen people were abducted, including children as young as 3. Many in northern Nigeria live in poverty and don't have jobs. The region has seen a rise in kidnappings for ransom in recent years, which is having a devastating impact on education. In 2014, the world watched in outrage as Boko Haram fighters kidnapped 276 schoolgirls from Chibok Secondary School. President Muhammadu Buhari has faced mounting criticism about his government's struggle to tackle the crisis, with families calling on the international community for help.
We stand in one voice, we condemn what has happened, and we will protest, we will continue to protest until our children are brought back.
But for this community, fear has spread that no school, anywhere, seems safe. Jillian Wolf, Al Jazeera.
And that is it for today's regional and international news. Here now is your 3D weather forecast. That is all for this edition of Channel 2 Headline News Update. Tune in on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Until then, stay safe and take care.